Today I'm going to be showing you a couple of looks suitable for those of you that wear glasses. Now there is no wrong or right way when it comes to makeup and glasses. It just really depends on your eye shape, your preference of makeup, and depending on the shape of your glasses, if you've got a lot of space, if you don't, everything's going to kind of be a little bit trial and error because of your particular glasses shape, your eye shape, etc. So I'll do a couple of looks. I will zoom in just so you can see the eye makeup, and then I will zoom out for each look, pop the glasses on so you guys can see. Hopefully you're going to be able to see my eyes because I've got a lot of light in and it will probably bounce off. So I'm going to start with my base makeup. Everybody's base makeup, again, is your preference. You might be someone that doesn't wear a lot of makeup, like it very natural, soft on the skin, barely there. Or you could be someone that loves to wear a full face every day. So again, it really is down to your preference, but you need to bear in mind that makeup does wear away from here when you wear glasses. So the less you've got on around this area, the better. The first product I'm going to use is this Banana Bright Face Primer by Olehenriksen. And if you're familiar with the banana powder, this is inspired by that. The idea is that it brightens, blurs and primes your skin ready for makeup. The reason I've chosen a brightener for the skin is because glasses can often cause a bit of a shadow under here. Sometimes it can enhance the darkness underneath our eyes. So using something that's quite brightening on the skin is a great starting point. This smells incredible. It's kind of citrusy and it has a yellow tinge to it, and it's a great way to brighten your skin. Oh, it smells so lovely. So I'm applying this all over. You'll find it instantly illuminates the skin, it hydrates, it contains vitamin C, and it doesn't stay too tacky on the skin, like it instantly starts to sink in really quickly. The foundation I'm going to use today is the Natural Radiant Foundation by NARS. I've used this a few times just recently. I love it. The reason I've chosen this one is because it is a great one for coverage if you like coverage, but also if you don't like a lot of makeup, you can really sheer it down and it will still cover those imperfections. And I like that it's a natural radiance, so it's not too mattifying. But if you are an oily person, prime your skin with something like the Oil and Pore Control Primer by MURAD. This one contains SPF 45. They did do one with SPF 15, but that has since been discontinued, so the only one available now is this one, but it is nicer and it's got a lovely scent to this one. That will prevent your oil coming through for a lot longer if you apply that before your foundation. I'm actually going to put a little bit of that across my nose because that is my most oily area. So I'm going to blend that in. You can be quite generous with it. And I'm specifically putting it where glasses would sit. So it says on the back that it minimises the appearance of pores by 54% and delivers 10 hours of oil and shine-free pore control. So I'm going to start in the centre of my face with a duo fibre brush, work the foundation outwards, but I'm not going to apply it around this area just yet. The reason being is because I'm going to use what's left on my bristles to work that in on that area because I want as minimal product there. The last thing I want is to be wearing glasses and then taking them off and then I've just got like a glasses mark. I recently had an eye check. I've never needed glasses until now, and I only need them for when I'm editing on the computer. She specifically told me not to wear them any other time because she doesn't want my eyes to get worse. I remember when I was a kid I fibbed to say I needed glasses. I fibbed on the test and got them, but I couldn't see the whiteboard or anything because obviously I lied. So I'm using what's left on the bristles just to buff over just the area that the glasses would sit. And just a little bit under the eyes. I'm not taking it too far up because we're going to apply a little bit of concealer. I'm just neutralising the eyelid skin with what's left of the foundation in the bristles. You can apply an eye primer there. For my eyebrows, I'm going to fill them in with my MAC Shape and Shade Brow Tint. I would say keep them as natural as possible to you. Definitely fill your brows in because it does help to frame your face. Up here I'm going to link the tutorial on how I do my brows. It's a good idea to add a little bit of concealer underneath the eyes to brighten because your glasses can often create a little bit of a shadow, and if you're deep set anyway, that just tends to look a bit darker. Use a concealer that's softer on the skin that doesn't enhance fine lines. I'm going to use Complete Coverage Concealer by bareMinerals. This is the BareSkin concealer. I like to pop a little bit of light right in the corners and then just dab 1 or 2 dots just underneath. But because I want it to be still natural looking, I then go in with a little bit of medium and just put that in between. Try not to take your concealer up here because this is where it's going to start to become quite slippy, and again everything's going to start to move. So keep it on your eyes and kind of not taking it up higher. And I also like to try and keep my concealer to the line, because this is the part that we're kind of lightening where our eye naturally sinks. We don't want to start enhancing all those fine lines and laughter lines underneath the eyes with concealer. Keeping it lower will brighten that line that makes our eyes look a bit deep set. Obviously, if you have a lot of discoloration across there, then you can use a colour corrector. One question I get a lot is, how do I colour correct without making those wrinkles look more defined? And there's no real easy answer to that, because if you're putting texture onto the skin that's already textured, it's going to look even more textured. It's kind of acceptance. If you want something that's lightweight and doesn't enhance fine lines and stuff, you might not always get the coverage with it. It's about finding a balance that you're happy with and that you can live with. I'm going to pop some bronzer on and some blush, and I will be back, and then we will move on to the eye makeup. I've applied some of bareMinerals Endless Summer Bronzer around the circumference of my face and across my cheekbones, just to give me a bit more of a healthier glow. I haven't set the skin underneath my eyes. I like for it to be quite hydrating, and I don't mind blending it out with my finger if it starts to warm up the product and it creases. If you have a major problem with creasing, then you can set it in place, but bear in mind that powder can often make your makeup and fine lines look a little bit heavier. Moving on to blush, I'm going to be using this one by Benefit Cosmetics, and it's called Georgia. This is a coral shade and it has a bit of a shimmer to it. Depending on your glasses shape, often they come down quite low and they can sit on the cheek. So if you're using any cream blushes and you're using them quite high, I like to apply blush to the back half of the cheek because it lifts the face. If you smile, on this part of your cheek, you just apply a blush. I'm applying it with a small brush because I've got a little bit more precision with it. And this one does have a bit of a glow to it. And as it's a powder, it's less likely to move with glasses. So I'm going to add that to both sides. You can use a bigger blush brush, but I just like to be a bit more precise when it's got a highlighter to it, because I don't want it to just go everywhere. I just want it on this area where the cheekbone pops. If you're getting married and you're wearing glasses, then you can layer your products to last all day. So you can go with a cream blush to begin with and then apply a powder over the top, like a powder blush over the top to set it in place, but having that thin layering will last all day long, even if you're wearing glasses. So as you can see, having blush on the back half of the cheek kind of lifts your cheekbones up and it just lifts your face up. I love it when you see people wearing glasses and lipstick, especially if you keep your eye makeup just kind of mascara. I think it's so simply beautiful, but I'm not much of a lipstick wearer. So if you are a fan of colour, then definitely pair it with glasses because I think it's so beautiful. It's very fresh looking. People look really intelligent. I don't know what it is. There's just something about it. Whereas I'm more of the eye makeup and blush rather than a lip person, so I'm going to stick with nude and just kind of line my lips a little bit for definition. For lipstick, I'm going to use Penelope Pink by Charlotte Tilbury. This is a gorgeous nude shade, and if you've never tried their lipsticks, you must, because they're so beautifully comfortable. I've got a little bit of foundation on my lips, so that's primed them for me. So to keep it nice and simple, I'm taking the Georgia blush by Benefit on a small flat shader brush, and I'm going to take that over the actual eyelid itself. I quite like the look of a nude, more natural eye makeup look. If you've got relatively small eyes or you want to make the most of your eyes, then it's a really good idea to apply a light colour to this part of the eye to make it look bigger. Even though it doesn't appear as though this is coming out, it actually is. As I said, it's a peachy tone, so if I lean back slightly you can see that my cheek has this golden appearance, and that's the same subtle hue that's going to be visible on the eyes. Another way to enhance the actual lid space is to just put a very soft contour into the socket of the eye. So I've decided to use the bronzer because it's the same tones we've got on the rest of the face, so it's going to be really nice and cohesive. I'm using a very small blending brush to apply this because I want it to be a little bit more precise. If you use a big fluffy blending brush, you're going to apply too much colour and it will take it too high. Again, we're maximising the eye space, so we're going to take the Benefit Roller Eye Bright Cream Pencil and run this along the waterline. It gets rid of the pinky tones and just makes eyes look less tired and more awake. Using a small detailer brush, I'm taking that bronzer underneath those lower eyelashes just to frame the eye and making sure we connect that with the outer corner of the top lid to frame it. The next step is optional. I find that if you line really close to the root of your eyelashes on your top lid, it makes your eyelashes look fuller without the need of having to apply too much mascara. I personally like to keep it to the outer third of the lash line, and then I like to use a very small brush to soften it. So you want to soften along the top and then just use what's left on the bristles to pull that out and create a bit of a wing. But if you have very heavy hooded lids, then you might not want to do this. You might just want to keep it very close to the root of your eyelashes. My personal preference is to use a brown. It's a flattering shade for all age groups, and it's completely up to you if you prefer to use a pen or a pencil. Now, one of my valuable tips is to use a liquid liner or a pencil that is a waterproof pencil underneath your top lash line. It doesn't matter if you're not applying it on your bottom one, but if you're going to apply it under there, make sure it's waterproof. This is great for everybody, but in particular for those of you that have heavy hooded lids that can't wear eyeliner along your top lash line. If you've never tried it, give it a go. It's a great way to make your lash line look fuller. In turn, if you have tiny eyelashes, then a primer is going to be your best friend. These ones are great at extending and thickening your natural lashes before applying your mascara. A lot of the time, for those of you that wear glasses, false lashes are out of the question because they're just too long and they touch the lenses. So this is a great way to make the most of your natural lashes. One of my favourite mascaras for being the blackest of black and also for really long wearing that doesn't move is the Bad Girl Bang Mascara by Benefit Cosmetics. I have a review on this which I will link on screen for you now. But as you can see, it really does make the most of your natural eyelashes, especially paired with a primer underneath. I do have a good length to my eyelashes anyway, but if you do have small ones, I promise you this will really change your eyelash game. So hopefully my eyes are visible without the bright lights completely whitening them out on the lenses. If I turn my face to the side, you can see. So it's a really fresh makeup look. I look nice and alert, awake. I look like I've made the effort. I really like this look. This would be one that I would sport with glasses. As you would have noticed, I didn't apply any mascara to my bottom lashes, but I'm just going to pop some on and then quickly pop my glasses on so you can see what it's like, as I know some of you will find it very abnormal not to wear mascara on your lower eyelashes. So moving on, I'm now going to amp it up slightly. I'm taking this matte brown eyeshadow by Kiko. You can use this wet or dry. If you want it more intense, then you just dampen your brush and you use it. This is for those of you that like to make a little bit more of your eyes but still want it to be noticeable when you've got your glasses on. So the idea is to make the most of the outer corners of your eyes, because this is going to be the best way not to close up that lid space, because the more you close that up, the darker your eye makeup's going to look, especially when you've got glasses on, because if you wear dark rims, which tends to be a lot more fashionable these days, it's a lot going on your face. So you want to make the most of your eyes, so concentrate that darker shade on the outer third. When it comes to applying eyeliner, again, brown is a lot more flattering, however you can go with black. But if you're going to apply it to your lower eyelash line, a great way to stop your eyes from looking tiny is to keep that eyeliner on the outer half of your waterline. So as you can see, I've only taken it halfway along the waterline and then I've left the inner corner with no product. We're now going to darken the outer corner of the top lash line, so where we applied the brown originally, I'm now tapping over that with a tiny amount of matte black eyeshadow. You definitely want to tap off all the excess product and slowly build it up until you're happy with how dark it is. Again, if you've got quite hooded eyelids, this is optional, you don't have to do it if they're not too hooded and you can get away with applying it along the top lash line but not winging it out, then do that. Use what's left on the bristles to take that underneath the lower eyelashes, but start from the outer corner of the wing and pull it down so they connect and they create a really beautiful kind of soft diffused wing. And much like we did with the brown eyeliner, only take it halfway across and very softly fade that so there's no harsh lines. I've made the eye makeup a little bit smokier. I've applied a brown eyeliner halfway across so it doesn't go all the way across and start to look a little bit messy on the inner corner of the eyes or under the tear duct area. Doing it this way almost guarantees that your makeup's still going to look good by the end of the day. I've not closed the eye up too much. I've kept it on the outer half of the eye, pulling it outwards, which just kind of helps to open up the eye, making sure we don't close any of this lid space. So I'll pop these on so you can see. It doesn't make my eyes look smaller. It's not too dissimilar to the beginning. This is a great way to amp up your makeup after work if you're going out for drinks. If you still don't want to kind of close up your eyes or make them look too small, winging it out a little bit is a great way to make your eyes look a little bit bigger on the inside still, but a little bit smokier in the outer edge. So you look glam, but you don't look over the top. So we're going to take this one step further, taking the matte black eyeshadow, we're going to smoke it out even further. This is for those of you that like to go on a night out or a special occasion where, again, you don't want to close up the lid space when you're looking front on, but you want to make the most of your eyes. As I said before, the key is to concentrate on the outer half of your eyes. So smoke it out in a bit of a V shape and then use a small blending brush with some bronzer on to start to soften that eyeshadow. Notice how I'm blending and softening the outer V shape first and then using what's left on the bristles to pull that through the socket. Again, if the eye space between your brow and your lid is quite small, you might not want to take it all the way through the socket. I'm basing this on my eye shape, but you can just adjust it to suit your own. Now I'm taking this black kohl pencil by ZOEVA and I'm taking it all the way along the waterline. As I said before, every step is optional, so you can keep it as brown, you can keep it as black, but only halfway across. It's completely up to you. I think black is the ideal option if you want to create real intensity to the eyes, but without closing that lid space. Next, I'm going to intensify the wing on the outer third of the eye. This time I'm taking a liquid eyeliner, and this one is the Tattooed Eyeliner by Kat Von D. This is a great option for those of you that struggle to keep your eyeliner in place. This one really doesn't move until you take it off. The bristles on this are super fine. As you can see, you can create a really sharp wing. I know I sound like I'm repeating myself, but if you don't want to close up that eyelid space, a wing is a great way to add intensity to the eyes. We've made it darker with the liner so that the smoke that's actually on the eyelid is a bit more soft. This is a great way to give you a smoky eye but without closing that lid space, because that's really important. We don't want to make it too dark, otherwise your eyes are just going to kind of disappear and look smaller once you've got your glasses on. Okay, so if you've got tiny lashes, then I would say stick with cluster lashes or an outer half. I do some beautiful ones for the outer half. They're very soft and they just accentuate the eye, and they're short enough that they shouldn't interfere with touching your lens. I think if you apply a few coats of mascara, not say look super spidery, because obviously if you've got glasses that kind of magnify your eyes, that's all you're going to see. So keep it really soft. I hope that's been useful and you guys have found it helpful. If you've got any questions, leave them in the comment section below and I'll do my best to get back to you. All the products I've used will be listed and linked in the description bar. Please subscribe if you haven't already done so. I upload every Sunday. And you can also follow me outside of YouTube over on Instagram at Show Me Makeup. I'm also on Facebook and I have a blog which I will link all the details below for you. Thanks so much for watching and I will see you next week. Bye!